Okay, so let's start the session, the preview. I think we are still waiting for a couple more to come in, but we can just start. And if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to put it in the chat. Okay, so good morning. Welcome to the DAS Academy program preview. My name is Mariam. I'm a senior lecturer at the DAS Academy, and I will be bringing you through the Masters program overview session. So my colleague, Rebecca, she's the program coordinator of the Specialist Diploma. She will bring you through that in the second half of the preview. Okay, so while we will have a Q&A session at the end where we can address any of your questions, but as I mentioned, if you have any questions along the way and you're scared that you might forget by the time we reach the end, so just put it in the chat and we'll address it as well. So before we start, I just want to have a rough understanding of your profiles. Maybe you can put the reaction thumb. There's a reaction button, okay, where you can put the thumb. How many of you here are parents? Okay. And I guess the rest of you are educators. All right. Okay. So, and how many of you here are for the master's program? Okay. Great. And how many here are for, so I assume the rest of you are for the specialist diploma. So that's a good mix. Karen, yes, you're also an educator. Okay. So I think that's a good mix. That's like half of you are here for the master's program and the other half are for the specialist diploma. Okay, so before we start with the different programs, I'm going to show you a short video first. So it's about the struggles that a child with dyslexia may face. Karen, you raise your hand. Do you need any help?
No, I raised my hand because just now you asked who's a parent.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to show you a short video first. It's about the struggles that a child with dyslexia may face. And one of the reasons why the DS Academy exists, to provide support for parents and educators to support such children. Okay, so let's move on to the video.
I'm Brian, 35. I work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I earn just enough to scrap by, just enough to provide my son with what he needs.
Appropriate.
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 Pronounce it by yourself.
Appropriate.
It's not appropriate, it's appropriate.
Appropriate.
Again?
Appropriate.
How can you not know? You just said it yourself. Appropriate. Appropriate. How many times do I have to repeat? It's appropriate, appropriate, appropriate. Are you even listening? Are you focusing? Do you understand? It's appropriate. I cannot stand this anymore.
What else can I do? Another day, another complaint, another beating. Nothing changes. Maybe it's just stupid.
Sir, your son hasn't completed his homework again. He hardly focuses, he can barely read, and he can't write properly. At the rate he's going, he's lucky if he even makes it out of here.
How many times do I have to repeat myself, Brian? Over and over again, I keep telling you about mistakes and you don't try to rectify it. Why don't you listen to me, Brian? Do you understand what I'm saying or not? Brian, why don't you answer me when I talk to you?
My name is Joe and I don't like to go to school. No matter how hard I try, I will never do well.
Okay, class, today I'm going to tell you the story of King Midas. King Midas was a rich king. He loved gold more than anything else in the world. One day,
I
while he
struggle
was
to
counting
keep
his
up in
gold
class.
coins, a fairy
I'd
suddenly
rather not
appeared
be
before
here.
him. King Midas, I'm here to give you a wish.
I gotta watch a football match tonight. You? Sometimes I find it hard to find my way home, but no one understands. It's always like this. It's never good enough. This kind of stuff doesn't happen to anyone else. Maybe I'm just stupid.
Hey, I brought home some snack for you. Do you want to eat them now?
Hey, why are you crying, huh? There's no need to cry. I'm sorry I've been scolding you so much lately. I know it's hard, but you gotta try. You don't give up too, okay? We'll both try our best.
Sometimes I want so badly to tell him things will get better, but I can't because I don't know if they will.
Okay, so stop the video. Okay, so for some parents, you may have found the video relatable. You kind of recognize the difficulties that your child faces, but you may feel like you're not equipped with the right knowledge, strategies to help your child. So I'm sure it's tough watching your child struggle, and I believe that's why we are all here today to find out more about the steps that you can take to support your child, and who knows, in future, take one step ahead and support other children as well. And for educators, I believe this could either be one for your own personal development or for your professional development. So you might have students with learning difficulties, and again, you're looking to broaden your perspective and teaching strategies to support them. We also have had educators who have the passion, the interest to find out more. And even though they don't have students with learning difficulties, but that keenness has led them to our previews and eventually signing up for courses. So, but whatever your reasons may be for being here with us today, we hope that you will find this preview useful in helping you to decide your next step. Okay. So let's start with the master's program that is offered at the DAS Academy in partnership with the University of South Wales in UK. And this is the Master of Arts in Special Educational Needs / Additional Learning Needs. So what we're going to look at is why the focus on special needs. Briefly, we're going to look at the special needs landscape in Singapore, and of course, what the Masters entails. Okay, so we'll look at the need to focus on special needs, particularly with regards to the SEN landscape in Singapore. And then how the master's program fits in nicely with all of this. Okay, so before we begin proper, okay, what do you all think is the percentage of children with special education needs? Okay, this is by international estimates, okay, but it is still relatively applicable in our local context. So maybe you can put in the chat box. What do you think is the estimate of children with special educational needs in Singapore? 85%. Well, that's a large percentage. Okay, 10%. All right. 20%. Okay. 15%, 25%. Okay. So quite a range of percentages coming up. But I think I know where you're coming from for those who put the high percentages. It's possibly because maybe most of the students with SEN, they are put together in a class. And therefore, it seems that there's a high percentage of students with SEN. Okay, but relatively, the percentage of children with SEN in Singapore is about 4 to 10%, right? So, but of course, we know that those who struggle with SEN, they struggle academically, and therefore they're generally put together in one class, and that's why it seems that the percentage is high. But if you spread it out, it's about 4 to 10%. So this indicates that in a class of 40 students, there are at least about 1 to 4 students with SEN, special education needs, that need additional support. So if you look at it at the class level, okay, it may not seem like a significant number, unless of course they're all in one class, but when you put these numbers together, it actually does build up, right? Okay, so in fact, there have been a rising number of children with SEN, with mild SEN in local mainstream schools. Okay, in 2013, SEN students make up about 2.7% of the total student population. Okay, this makes up about 13,000 students. And in 2015, this percentage actually increased to 4%. Okay, let me clear this, if I can clear the screen for a while. I can't seem to clear the screen. Okay. So this percentage actually increased to 4%, which makes up about 18,000 students. So in fact, students with dyslexia form the biggest group. However, it is likely that not all these students receive the support that they need. So this suggests that there are many overlooked cases of SEN in schools. So what happens to those who do not receive the appropriate support or are not well supported? Okay, so there was this local study that was done across 99 students, primarily 3 students, and it showed that children with dyslexia were at a higher risk of developing social emotional problems. So children with dyslexia are more likely to encounter a range of emotional difficulties, such as feelings of anxiety, depression, low self-esteem. Okay, some of them also had risk of panic attacks. And these emotional difficulties could be due to feeling frustrated with their difficulties and struggles that they face in learning. So if these social emotional problems are not attended to, it could escalate into a downward spiral. So we want to break this vicious cycle of failure. We want to avoid them from developing a sense of learned helplessness. Okay? And because it's a specific learning difficulty, so their difficulties are specific only to one area of learning. And in this case, for students with dyslexia, it's literacy. And in a way, these children can often be overlooked because their difficulties lie in the written aspects of literacy and not perhaps in the oral aspect. They may be fluent in the oral aspects. So an educator who's not trained or a parent who's not aware of learning difficulties may not be able to see that, hey, the child may actually have a learning difficulty in this particular area, but actually, quite good in other areas. So they fall behind because they do not have the help, and the cost of not identifying and helping them is high. And a good level of knowledge and expertise on the part of mainstream educators is necessary. Okay. However, if they're identified early or they're well supported, their potential is very high So what we are looking at here is to ensure that these groups of students are supported well, so that they don't fall through the cracks and are left behind in society. So this was a study done in the US, where 35% of entrepreneurs in the US have traits of dyslexia. So despite their difficulties, they did succeed in life. Okay, they pushed themselves, okay, overcame the odds, and they succeeded in life and became entrepreneurs. Okay, we have a local study it was conducted by one of our staff as well. Okay, so once the study is published, we can actually share more about that as well. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with this person that you see on screen. Okay, Richard Branson. He's quite a famous person, and he has dyslexia. Okay, and when he was younger, this is what his principal told him. Okay, Richard, you will either go to prison or become a millionaire. So the principal recognized the potential that Richard Branson had. But if that potential was not tapped on, okay, he will end up going to prison. Okay, so there is some truth in what Richard Branson's principal said. A study that was done in UK, it was called Dyslexia Behind Bars, found that out of 2,000 prisoners in UK, 53% had literacy difficulties. So it could be because of their literacy difficulties, they did not manage to tap on the potentials that they had when they were younger. So based on the statement by Richard Branson's principal, those with dyslexia differ so much in outcomes because of the support. Okay. While we don't have a similar study in Singapore, okay, we did conduct a training session with some of the prison staff. Okay, and while some of the prisoners in our local prisons are not diagnosed with dyslexia, they do show symptoms of dyslexia. Some of them do show symptoms of dyslexia, and some of them do show literacy difficulties as well. So the role of educators is really important, and educators need to recognize that all students can learn, but appreciate that they learn differently and must be taught carefully. So at the DAS, we are sensitive to the different learning needs of the child, okay? And at the DAS Academy, we want to bring out this awareness in our adult learners. So we believe that every child learns differently, and we want to equip educators with that knowledge to support our learners equally in the different ways that they learn. Now, let's look at this picture that you see on the screen. So there are three different pictures. Okay, they're all watching a match. Okay, but the three pictures show three different scenarios. So perhaps would anyone be able to share what is the difference between the three pictures, and how does it relate to the title on the slide, Creating a World Without Barriers? You can put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and share your thoughts. Okay, equality and equity, equity in education. It seems that these children do not have equity in education, giving everyone an equal chance to view the world. Yes. So you want to give them equal support. Okay, but when you say equal, okay, if you look at the first picture, everyone is given equal support. Okay, only one tier. But while everyone is given equal support, not everyone can still see the match. Okay, so the tallest boy, of course, he can see the match. Okay, the one in the middle, yes, he can see the match as well. But the shortest child still can't see the match with the equal support that is given. And then if you look at the second picture, it's tiered. Yes, differentiated teaching is tiered. So the tallest boy, he doesn't need any support. So we don't give him any support. Okay, the middle child, he only needs this level of support. So that's what we're going to give him. Okay, and then the shortest child, he needs the most support. So that's what we're going to give him. But in a sense, is that equality? Is that equity? Okay, so for the first picture, support is given, but the shortest student still cannot see, right? Then, okay, Sharina commented, accommodations to environment. So you look at the last picture. So what happens here is, yes, you're removing barriers to learning, so everyone has access to education opportunities. So when you look at the first two pictures, it's about giving support, and that support is tiered to the level of the child, or rather equal support, but the students don't get access to what they need. And the last picture is totally removing the barriers. Okay, so it's about not providing the support based on the child's needs, but you remove barriers so that everyone can access the education environment equally based on what they need. And in fact, when you remove the barriers, they don't even have to stand anymore. They can even sit down to enjoy the match. So it is like this analogy, this scenario is same in a fast-paced mainstream environment. We provide some support, but it still might not be enough for the weaker students. So challenge is for us to acknowledge this quote, creating a world without barriers. We believe all can learn, but we also need to remind ourselves that they do not all learn the same way. So if we use the weaker student as a baseline, we all can become better teachers. So that way, we can eliminate the barriers to teaching. Okay, so the challenge is for us to think about unnecessary barriers that can be removed so that we can provide an even kinder environment for our learners with SEN. So like I mentioned, the tall boy can benefit from the removal of the barrier. He can even sit down to enjoy the match. So the changing practices can often result in good practice for everyone. So when you remove barriers, it's not just for learners with SEN, because we do recognize that there are learners without SEN that struggle as well, but they just don't have a learning difficulty. So these changing practices can benefit everyone and not just learners with SEN. Okay, so we don't doubt that there have been some changing practices and increasing awareness. So for example, in 2004, when MOE responded to PM Lee's call for an inclusive Singapore, and when the Special Needs Officer Scheme was launched in 2007, then changes were also made to the education policy in a bid to foster inclusion and create an inclusive education system for all students, especially those with SEN. So for example, there was a significant increase in funding allocation for the redevelopment of school infrastructure and professional development of mainstream teachers to better support students with SEN in mainstream schools. Then allied educators were also introduced in mainstream schools to provide remediation for students with SEN. Then we have the LSP program for the P1s and the P2s. The support used to stop there, but now they've extended it to the P3 and the P4 students, now known as the School-Based Dyslexia Remediation Program, the SDR. Then signing the convention in 2012 underscores Singapore's collective commitment to do even more to improve the lives of persons with disabilities through early intervention, education, employment, adult care, and other measures as well. Okay, so the support continued to widen. Okay, the SDR program was initially just a trial, but it was extended to more primary schools, okay, following encouraging results from the trial. So from last year, from 2019, children with moderate to severe special needs will need to attend publicly funded schools. So there was a change in the Compulsory Education Act. So just like all other children in Singapore, okay, they will need to attend government schools, publicly funded schools. And indeed, okay, it was an important milestone in Singapore's continuing drive towards national inclusiveness. And it was a reaffirmation that every child matters, regardless of his or her learning challenge. So the increased awareness and the increase in the number of students with special education needs has led to parents and educators looking for more avenues to increase their knowledge. So the DS Academy has actually created these different pathways. So that's why we have the MA. MA is more theoretical, and we also have the Specialist Diploma, which is more practical in nature. Okay, so these are actually some of our students who are parents to children with special education needs. So their children were mainly the driving force for them to pursue the Masters, pursue the Specialist Diploma, and also that they could gain more knowledge and further learn how to support their children. So one of the key things that they wanted to teach their children was resilience. They had to juggle between a full-time job, family, and studies. But yet, they managed to complete their studies successfully. So this is another one of our students. Okay, she is an international school educator, and she has the support of children as well as her parents to continue with the masters. So again, her driving force was to teach about resilience. Okay, and in fact, she said that she had actually inspired her children to continue with their work. Sorry. Can you all hear me? Okay, sorry. It seemed like it was hanging for a bit. Okay, this is another of our students. Okay, again, one of the lady in the blue sash took up the specialist diploma. She was an educator. Okay, her child had dyslexia, and the other one took up the masters, and her child has ASD, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you, Mikeng. Thank you for the reassurance. Okay, so the DS Academy aims to support both parents and educators in filling in the gaps in the special educational field through empowering them with understanding and skills to support children with SEN and create a more inclusive, friendly learning environment for these children. So you may ask, why the DS Academy? Okay, so the DS Academy has been providing in-service training for our MOEs, allied educators for at least 15 years now. And we are at the forefront of dyslexia education in the Southeast Asia region. Okay, our neighboring Southeast Asia countries like Malaysia, Indonesia has often approached us for training. And we have also conducted training in Hong Kong, Japan, Brunei, and most recently, China. Our first partnership was actually with the London Metropolitan University. But now we have moved on to the University of South Wales. Okay, so the initial program with the London Met was actually focused very much on dyslexia. But over the years, we learned that children with dyslexia do not come nicely packaged. So other than mere reading and writing difficulties, they present with other co-occurring difficulties like ADHD, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, speech and language difficulties. So the second program with University of South Wales, in partnership with the University of South Wales, it actually expands our view to outside of dyslexia. Okay, so hence in this program, we now emphasize on the co-occurring difficulties as well. Okay, so it does not only look at dyslexia as learning about because we recognize that learning about the co-occurring difficulties are as important to support a child with dyslexia. So in a sense, it gives a more holistic view of SEN. So this is what the University of South Wales looks like. Okay, it is actually the largest university in Wales and one of the largest in the UK. And the program, so if you're ever intending to migrate to the UK, the program there is comparable to the program that's delivered here. Okay, so if you relocate, you can actually just transfer credits. The credits are equivalent. And we actually do have our lecturers from the University of South Wales who used to fly down before the pandemic to conduct lectures, but now they will just Zoom in for the lectures. So DS Academy is governed by the CPE, the Committee for Private Education in Singapore. It is also governed, at least for the masters, it is also governed by the QAA in UK, to ensure higher standards in quality and deliverance of the program. And although USW provides the professional SEN framework, DAS Academy has actually enhanced the program further to make it more relevant to local practitioners. So we've included local examples, we fit it into the local context. We also call in local guest speakers as well. So we try very much to follow the local SEN landscape as we deliver the master's program. But we still do adhere to stringent criteria by the USW. So you may ask, who can benefit from the MA or who should take up the MA? So really the MA SEN enables practitioners working with people with special educational needs or those in education-related fields to develop themselves professionally, can also distinguish themselves in the growing field of special needs. So our past students include, we had nurses from the pediatric developmental wards, we had early childhood teachers, of course, we had special education teachers, international school teachers. We, as I've mentioned earlier, parents of children with SEN, mainstream teachers, as well as allied educators. So what does the MASEN do for you? Okay, so if you look at the first picture, it's a stairway. So basically the stairway signifies your growth, be it as a practitioner or a parent. And then the mirror signifies a framework for reflection, where you can examine your own practices against theory and research evidences. And of course, helps you to progress from a consumer of research, so you act on research that you've read, to an active researcher. So you can actually conduct your own research. If you've had this dying question that you've wanted answered, you can actually go on to conduct your research in that area. So this typically each taught module consists of 30 hours delivered on a block delivery basis. So when I say block delivery, it's always conducted during the school holidays. March holidays, September holidays, the first week of the June, as well as the November school holidays. Okay, and as I've mentioned, it's co-delivered by lecturers from the USW. Okay, some of the modules are co-delivered, right? And you have access to our Blackboard and the USW's e-library as well as our own physical DS Academy library. And most of the modules, the assessment is an essay, okay, an assignment, which is due about 12 weeks after the start of each module. So let's go through the different modules, okay, in greater detail later, but generally, these are all the modules. Okay, depending on which pathway you take, you either need to take 4 modules and then with 1 dissertation, or you have to do all 5 taught modules. Okay, so if you're taking the full dissertation, the 60 credit dissertation, okay, where you actually conduct the research, you only need to take 4 modules, including the research methodology. Okay, that's important for our research. Okay, so, but if you only want to do the desktop dissertation, this is the 30 credit dissertation, where you plan a research, but you don't actually have to go on to conduct the research. Then you will do all 5 modules, including the research methodology as well. So there are 2 pathways. You either take all 5 taught modules with the 30 credit dissertation, or you only do 4 taught modules, and then you go on to do the 60 credit dissertation. Okay, so these are the upcoming dates. Okay, the dates for the upcoming modules. Okay, the next one coming up in September is the Working with Dyslexia. But of course, you don't have to follow this structure. Like I mentioned, you can choose the modules that you want to take. Which one might be more relevant to you at this point of time. And then you can go on, okay, and check the different dates. Okay, when can you attend the next run of the next module that you are intending to take. Okay, so the unique feature of our MA program is that there are actually 3 exit points. Okay, so let's say you don't want to commit to the full MA yet. Okay, you want to have a feel of it. So you can take on 2 modules and then you can graduate with a postgraduate certificate. And then maybe like a few months down the road, you say, hey, maybe I should just continue. I mean, I've already done 2 modules, right? Maybe I want to continue. And then you continue and let's say you only take another 2 taught modules. And then you graduate with a postgraduate diploma. Okay, so maybe at this stage, oh, I'm only just 1 module and a dissertation away from the full MA. So I should just continue on. So you can re-enroll back into the program to complete the entire MA. Okay, although there are 3 exit points, they're all subsumed in your full MA cert. So what this means is that if you have the postgraduate certificate and you decide you want to continue the postgraduate diploma, you in a sense have to surrender your postgraduate certificate, finish your 2 top modules, and then you get a postgraduate diploma, okay, in replacement of that cert. Okay, so similarly, if you've done the postgraduate diploma and you want to come back to the program, you have to surrender again your diploma, okay, finish off the MA, and you'll graduate with a full MA certificate. So at any point, okay, you only get 1 cert for your study. So this is the unique feature of our MA program.
So can I clarify that
yes,
in any point of time, if we were to go for the master's program, right, then maybe halfway through we can't continue on, then we will stop at one of it. But maybe in another maybe few more months I want to continue it, I have to surrender whatever certificate I get before continuing to the
Yes.
master program.
Correct. So let's say you, after the postgraduate certificate, you withdraw, and then a few months later you decide to re-enroll, you will have to, when you do the applications, you have to surrender your postgraduate certificate. Then you continue with the other 2 modules for your postgraduate diploma. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so let's go through the different modules. This one is a context and concepts. This runs every November, the first week of the November and December school holidays. So this module provides an overview of the SEN landscape in Singapore. Okay, so it's just not dyslexia, but you look at all the other co-occurring difficulties as well. And here we actually invite experts from various fields to share about the diagnosis and the management of these difficulties. So it's a 30, all our modules except for the working dyslexia is a 30-hour program. Then dyslexia theory and assessment. Okay, this one, as the name suggests, it does focus on dyslexia. Okay, so it focuses on dyslexia, its theories, and the various ways to assess dyslexia. The assessments, if you look at the teacher diagnostic assessments, they are actually teacher-friendly assessments. Okay, you can carry out these assessments on those who show signs of literacy difficulties. Okay, but it's more for using it for teaching purposes, okay, to guide them in supporting the students, okay, rather than for diagnosis purposes. Okay, so for parents, perhaps this course may help you to understand the various reasons for dyslexia and to appreciate the profile of the child better. Now, this one is a 42-hour module. This is actually tech. Okay, if our specialist diploma has this module, certificate in dyslexia and literacy teaching. So you'll actually be attending that module, okay, for the lectures, but you'll go on to do the practical component as part of the MA. So this module is tagged together with one of the certificate courses in our specialist diploma. So this is a practical module. This is the only practical module in our MA, and it allows you to attain hands-on skills. So again, perhaps a unique feature of our program. So unlike other master's programs that are more theoretical, we have enhanced this program to include this practical module based on feedback from our participants, because they want to increase their competency in supporting a child with dyslexia with literacy. So here you will learn how to plan lessons, how to deliver lessons, and then actually use these skills for a 6-month practicum. So you actually have to find your own learner for this 6-month practicum. It can be your own child, it can be anyone that you're currently supporting. But if you do have difficulties finding a child, do let us know in advance. We can see how we can help you in that. Okay, so the 6-month practicum will consist of 21-hour lessons. Okay, and you are supposed to showcase the skills that you have learned in this in the module. All right. For managing and supporting CAMH and SCBD, child and adolescent mental health, as well as social, emotional, behavioral difficulties, okay, because we also recognize that dyslexia leads to social, emotional difficulties in children. So it's crucial to talk about and manage SCBD that arise because of the frustrations themselves and school as well. So RM, research methods, is a compulsory module if you're moving on to the dissertation. Okay, so here you will learn various ways to conduct research, how to analyze research. So as I mentioned, there are 2 pathways. So either you take the 30 credit or you take the 60 credit dissertation. So practitioners who are more keen, to take up practical strategies, you might prefer to take up the desktop dissertation, and you do one more taught module, and this could be the working with dyslexia module. And here you don't need to conduct the study. You can just plan out your research proposal. Okay, so it's 5 taught modules and just 1 credit, 30 credit dissertation altogether. But the 60 credit dissertation might be good, for people who actually want to pursue study in this area. Or as I've mentioned earlier, you have this dying question that you want to answer and you want to conduct research in that area. Okay, so here you just again do 4 taught modules, including the research methods, and go on to do the research proposal as well as conducting the research, okay, and then discussing the findings as well. So this is our lecturing team. So the lecturers from the USW Dr. Sharon Drew and Dr. Matthew Hart. Okay, and at the DS Academy, we have myself, Rebecca, and June is the head of DS Academy. Priscilla is our assistant head. And we also have In Ray, who is supporting the lectures for the ME. All right, so how do you apply? Okay, you can just apply online via the DAS Academy website. Okay, you will need to have all the supporting documents ready. While we have the typical route, okay, where you join the program with the degree, okay, we also have this alternative entry route. It's available for those without a bachelor's degree. So if you had relevant experience in the SEN field, in the education field, okay, you may meet the criteria for this available, alternative entry route. So do check out our website. Okay, you may refer to the entry requirements for this alternative route on the website, or you may contact myself. Okay, my number is there. Although we are mostly working from home at the moment, okay, or you can just drop me an email. Nurul, she is our administrator for the MA program. You can also call her, or you can give her a call to find out more about the application process. So if you go onto our website, you will notice this, okay, when you click on Masters, okay, you come to this page. So if you want to register, you can just click on Register Now. Now you may get a shock, okay, but don't worry, you may find this. So let's say you are telling yourself, no, I don't want to enroll for the Masters straight away. It's okay. Okay, so this just basically gives you the entire program, but you can just apply now, and you can indicate, you know, the 2 modules. Let's say if you want to just do the PGC, so you can just indicate the 2 modules that you want to register for and just pay accordingly. Okay, so you don't, it doesn't mean that when you apply now, you're committing to the entire MA straight away. Okay, this is just an overview of the entire program. Okay, so each module is 4,500. Payment is on a 6-month basis. There's installment. Okay, so typically 6 payments till, if you're doing the full masters, typically there will be 6 payments till the completion of the study. So pathway 1, if you take all 5 modules, okay, and then a 30 credit dissertation. And pathway 2, if you only take 4 modules and the 60 credit dissertation. So application period is for a month, all right, from today. Okay, but we may extend it as well if you feel that some people may require more time to compile all the supporting documents. And again, if you have you need more information, you can go onto our website, or you can just drop me an email, or you can drop Nuru an email as well. Okay, so hopefully the preview for the master's program may, set your minds thinking, and hopefully we continue to make a difference in the lives of students with SEN. All right, thank you. Okay, I'll now pass you over to Rebecca. Rebecca.
Thank you, Mariam. Okay, hi everyone, I'm Rebecca. I'm the program manager for the Specialist Diploma program. So let me just share my screen before I share with you. Can everyone see my screen? Yes?
Yes, can.
Okay, can you all hear me clearly?
Yes, you're very clear.
Okay, great, Ken. Okay, so the Specialist Diploma program, all right, so just to give you an overview about the program, Dyslexia Association of Singapore comprises of a multidisciplinary team of psychologists. We have educational therapies, we have speech and language and occupational therapies. So this course intends to actually draw on a bank of our accumulated knowledge and experience to provide a consolidated field of knowledge in SPLD. So our lecturers are mainly educational therapists who actually and based on the content is actually created based on classroom experiences, and while working with parents of these students as well as academic demands of kids in mainstream school. And this program will actually help both advocates and practitioners to improve your practices by linking theory to the practice. Okay, so the program offers a platform that promotes interactive and collaborative learning. You will meet classmates from different backgrounds. It could be parents, tutors, teachers, and the way that we deliver our courses allows you to have discussions and tap on each other's experience and learn. So currently, as of now, our courses are actually happening dual mode. So we do offer participants to actually come down face-to-face to attend our courses, or you can actually attend it online as well. Okay. So when we talk about knowledge and understanding, it's mainly to provide an insight of SPLD and the cognitive processes involved in it, and to also employ an appropriate teaching approach. So by attending this course, we hope that you will have the relevant skills to support learners with SPLD based on his or her learning need. So this course would also help you to understand the profile of your learner better and to employ the right strategies to support them. Okay, and to also have an extended teaching knowledge and experience, be it in a specific field. Like for example, if let's say you're supporting learners in a specific area, like say mathematics, to have in-depth knowledge in that area and relevant strategies in that topic or that subject to actually support your learner. Okay, and also very importantly, to understand the emotional impact on a learner with SPLD, who has an SPLD. Okay, and this program is very much practical, right? Because we actually share a lot of strategies, and the knowledge is very much practical skills, right? So to make critical judgments of the concepts and approaches related to supporting a learner with SPLD. We also want you to evaluate and rationalize planning, teaching, and learning based on practical teaching experiences. So by being able to understand the profile of the learner. So being able to understand the profile of the learner, to identify their strengths, the weaknesses, and to see and to plan an intervention for the learner as well, and to plan what is actually needed for the learner. Okay, and to use reflective practice to become more self-aware, to also appraise strengths and weaknesses of your personal teaching and learning in the process. Okay, and very importantly, to evaluate the current theories around the nature and causes of SPLD, right? So to talk about this program, it's 1 year program, right? And the modules are to be taken consecutively unless there is an intermission of studies, all right? The maximum candidature period is 3 years, which means you need to complete the course within 3 years, all right? There are 7 modules from that forms the specialist diploma. There are 2 core modules, which includes 4 hours of e-learning module. I will run through each of the module in a short while, all right? And then there are 42 hours course. And then you have to take 3 elective A modules, which are all 15-hour modules, and 1 elective B module, which is a 21-hour module. And then once you have completed all these modules, you will move on to do the practicum, which is about 10 to 12 weeks. Now, the intention of the practicum is mainly to allow you, to give you that opportunity to apply whatever skills that you have actually gained from this course and to support a learner and to demonstrate your application skill, all right? So we hope that the knowledge that you gain by attending all these modules would allow you to apply what you have learned in this practicum module, okay? So the very first module, as I said, is Understanding Dyslexia Module, which is 4 hours of e-learning module. So there's no face-to-face lecture for this. It's self-learning, right? This is accessible at SUSS UniLearn for 1 month. So this is in collaboration with SUSS, all right? And this course will be available. So from the time that you register, so it runs every month, right? And you are given 1 month to complete the entire course. So the assessment is an online quiz. So that means you have to log into this platform, right? SUSS platform, and then you have to, there's self-learning. So you have to do your own revision, and you read up and you do the e-learning, and thereafter you'll be required to do an online quiz. So that's one of the core module, which is an e-learning module. Okay. The second module, the second core module, is Dyslexia and Literacy Teaching, which is what Mariam was actually saying about for the MA course, right? Working with dyslexia, this is the module that you have to attend if you're taking the MA course, okay? But this is also the core module for the Specialist Diploma program. It's 42 hours. It aims to introduce you to dyslexia and the principles behind effective teaching approach. Okay, the content actually includes understanding the structure of English language, phonics knowledge and application, oral support, reading fluency, conceptual teaching and planning, as well as lesson planning and delivery. So at the end of the course, you would be able to actually plan your own lessons, be able to understand the profile of the learner, and be able to actually have the basic understanding of the literacy skills, literacy skills, right? And there are 3 different types of assessments for this. One is a written exam. There'll be oral procedure test, which is the oral test, and lesson observation, so lesson planning. So you will be given the opportunity to plan a lesson for a profile of the learner. Okay, so it's a 42-hour course, right? And then we have these various modules in elective A that you can choose from. Okay, and as I mentioned, elective A are all 15-hour course. There are 2 runs for each module. One is a weekly run, which means it will be spread across every week, so over a week, and we have the block run as well. Okay, so it will be done during mainly in blocks in a particular week. Okay, so we have educational psychology, understanding speech, language, and communication needs, certificate in supporting SPLD learners in mathematics, dyslexia and Chinese language support, English exam skills. Supporting SPLD learners in English exam skills is mainly if let's say you are supporting learners in primary 6 or P5 level, because it's mainly covering content in paper 2 of PSLE paper. So if let's say you're supporting learners in primary 6 or primary 5 level, then this course will be appropriate. This module will be appropriate. IEP planning for SPLD learners, as well as teaching morphology, FEHE, which is further education, higher education, which is more catered for if let's say you're supporting learners in the tertiary education, okay, older learners, and supporting SPLD learners in executive function skills. Okay, so you can actually choose any 3 of these elective A modules. Then you'll be required to choose one of the elective B module, okay, which is advanced English literacy skill, advanced Chinese literacy skill, at-risk preschoolers in literacy, as well as higher order mathematical skill. Okay, it is advised, okay, highly encouraged for you to do elective A module first before moving on to elective B module. So for instance, if let's say you would like to specialize in, let's say, numeracy skills, right? So you can actually do the certificate in supporting SPLD learners in mathematics first, to get the fundamental understanding before you move on to higher order mathematical skills. Okay. So, and then as mentioned, once you have completed all the modules, you'll be required to do a practicum. Okay, and this actually promotes independent study, so it's very much on your own. You need to get a learner, all right, and then you need to support the learner, which for over a period of maybe 10 weeks, 10 lessons, right? So for 10 hours, you need to support the learner, right? And it's a reflective practice and looking at intervention using the SMART goal, which is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed objectives. Okay, there are 4 intakes, which is March, June, September, and December practicum. It's over 15 weeks, so you'll be assigned a supervisor for this period, and practicum supervisor. So this supervisor will actually provide you consultation, you can we have 5 hours of consultation time with the supervisor, where you can actually discuss on your intervention plan and your student profile, and they will guide you in your lesson planning. Okay, so you are required to support a learner for 10 hours during this practicum. Okay, a modular certificate and transcript will be issued after successful completion of each module. Okay, except for the SPLD teaching practicum. All right. I would like to also highlight at this point of time that these certificate courses over here are also stackable. So in a situation where, let's say, you are not ready to start off with to do the specialist diploma, for instance, but you wish to actually attend the certificate courses, you could attend the individual certificate courses first. And thereafter, let's say you have decided, okay, now I would like to actually move on to do the practicum, and therefore I want to convert these certificates to a specialist diploma, you may do so at any point of time, Right? So let's say you are not confident to start with the specialist diploma first, but rather you want to do the certificates, you may do so, and then later stack it up and then to convert it to a specialist diploma. Okay. Now, these are some suggested pathways for various educators. So it depends. So if let's say you are an English language educator, this is a suggested pathway. So to do these 3 elective modules, which is teaching morphology, English exam skills, as well as either one of these modules, IEP planning, EdPsych, or executive function. So you'll realize that IEP planning, educational psychology, and executive function skills, all these 3 modules will appear on the various pathway for educators, because this can be applied to any language, be it Chinese language, be it a math educator, it will be applicable to all educators. Right? And elective B module recommended for English language educators would be the advanced English literacy skill. And yes, everyone has to do the practical module at the end. So this is the suggested pathway for English language educators. For Chinese language educators, the 3 elective modules that you could actually consider is the speech, language, and communication needs, dyslexia and Chinese language support, and then the elective B module would be the advanced Chinese literacy skill. Okay, and for math educators, on the other hand, you could actually consider doing, you could actually do the supporting SPLD learners in mathematics, followed by elective B module, which is the higher order mathematical skills, right? And for preschool educators, you could actually do the speech, language, and communication needs, and the elective B module, which is supporting at-risk preschoolers in literacy. Okay, and then we do have tutors as well who attend our courses. So for specialist tutors for older learners, right? If let's say you're supporting older learners, you could do supporting SPLD learners in FEHE, teaching morphology, and then the elective B module could be advanced English literacy skills. Okay, let's say you're an all-rounder educator, you are actually supporting learners in various areas. Okay, then perhaps you could actually do supporting SPLD learners in mathematics. You could also do dyslexia and Chinese language support, and perhaps the elective B module could be at-risk preschoolers in literacy. So at the point where you're actually applying for the specialist diploma, you can actually make your choices, your module choices over there, and then when you apply for it. Okay, the run dates are all on our website. So to go and find out a little more about our courses and the dates, you can actually go on to our website to actually have a look at it. Okay, the entry criteria for this program is 5 GCE O-level passes or equivalent. O-level passes in English language is necessary, and minimum age is 18 years old. Okay, upon successful enrollment onto the specialist diploma, you'll be given entry into the Desk Academy library to borrow reading resources as well. Okay, so again, you can actually go on to our website, you click on the specialist diploma in learning support for SPLD. When you click on that, the dates will all appear, the courses will appear, and the dates will appear on it as well. Okay, now talking about accreditation of prior learning, APL. Okay, so if let's say you have previously undertaken any of the modules, so let's say you have already, there are a few scenarios, you have already taken our certificate courses, and now you wish to actually convert it to a specialist diploma, then accreditation of prior learning will actually apply. All right, so it should be within 3 years. All right, so that means your cert course should be within 3 years in order for it to be consolidated, in order for it to be converted to a specialist diploma. Okay, so in order to qualify for APL, qualifications submitted must have been attained within the 3 years, and originals must be presented at the time of application. So that's the difference as well. So if let's say you start doing the certificate course, so you need to actually submit all these certs in order for you to convert it to a specialist diploma. Okay. So the program will cost a total of $5,900, which includes GST. The APL application fee is $32.10, which is non-refundable. And the APL fee is applicable if, let's say, you started off as certificate and you wish to convert it to a specialist diploma, then APL fee will be applied. And let's say you have already done the cert course and now you wish to convert it to diploma as well, you may do so, but these are the fees that are applicable to it. Okay. So for any questions, you can actually clarify now, or you can actually drop an email to me. All right, my email address is there, or Nurul, who is also the admin support for Specialist Diploma as well. So you can actually drop her an email too. Okay, I'm going to leave it on now to for Q&A. So any questions? Anything that you all would like to clarify?
Hi, Rebecca. This is
Hi,
Karen.
Karen.
Okay, I would like to find out, I'm interested in this specialist diploma, and I understand that it's between 1 year to 3 years, right? And
Correct.
let's say, okay, may I know, will the program be held online throughout, or is it face-to-face for some modules?
Okay, as of now, given the current situation, right, it's all dual mode currently. So you can choose to come down face to face, or it will be conducted online. But I think we will not shift to fully face to face anytime soon. So I would say that online will still be available for now.
Okay, and the academy is at Bukit Timah Road, right?
Correct.
Okay.
At Beck's house.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
There's a question. Any grant? Okay, so as of now, we are working with the relevant agency on the Skills Future grant, right? But if we also have the, hang on, sorry, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I think quite a number have been inquiring about the Skills Future grant. We are actually working with the relevant agencies to see whether we can to work on it. As of now, it's not available.
Oh, another question. If it's face-to-face lesson, will it be in the evenings or mornings and the afternoons?
Okay, so most of our courses are actually done in the daytime. So it's in the morning and in the afternoon. There's only one course, which is the educational psychology, which may happen on in the evenings. But there are two runs. So there are actually most of one of it is it's either on a weekend. If not, it's on a Wednesday evening. That's the only module.
Okay. May I know the timing, because I'm a teacher, you see, so I'm in school like from 7:45 until sometimes as late as 5 p.m. So that's why. So I would like to find out.
Okay, so what we can do is, because there are various courses and we have different timings for it as well. So perhaps you could actually look at the website. Most of the courses will be like between 9:30 to 5:30. So you may want to actually look at our website to see which courses fits your schedule.
Okay.
So if let's say evening classes, then it's only educational psychology, which is from 6:30 to 9:30.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So there are some courses that run on a Saturday as well. So perhaps you want to actually look at that too. So like advanced literacy, morphology, understanding speech language, USLCN. All these courses actually happens on weekends as well, on Saturdays.
Okay, I'll go and take a look. Thanks.
Okay, sure. Okay, so Janelle actually asked, for someone who is non-educator, non-parent, and no prior experience special needs, would you recommend Specialist Diploma or the Master's program? So I think it's a very common question asked, whether to choose between a Specialist Diploma program or a Master's program. So if let's say you are supporting a learner, and you would need that practical strategy, I would recommend you to do the Specialist Diploma. We have had parents as well as educators with no prior knowledge or experience who have actually gained from this course, and they have actually provided very positive feedback that they have better, they have more strategies and skills to actually support the learner. So if let's say you are looking at more practical strategies to support the learner, then the Specialist Diploma would be very relevant to you. But if let's say, again, as what Maria mentioned, the Master's program is mainly to have an in-depth theoretical knowledge, to conduct a research, to actually find out a little more about the different SPLDs, and then that would actually be more appropriate for you, the Master's program. Okay.
Sorry, can I add, I think there's some questions. You will get a copy of the slides and we have recorded the session. So you'll get a copy of the slides and the video within, by next week, yes. So you can actually refer to those slides and the video again, think about the program.
Right. And it's online now. So if face-to-face are available, can we switch? When you mentioned can we switch, did you mean can you switch to online, is it, Nikki?
Our courses are all dual mode. So you have an option of attending it online via Zoom, or you can actually come down to our DS Academy to attend the courses here, on site physically. But we do have this minimum requirement. Our courses will run. That means we will have the dual mode if we have a minimum of 2 to 3 participants who opt for face-to-face. Otherwise, it will be fully online because it doesn't make, I don't know, I think it'll be weird for one participant, for that participant itself, to be maybe quite awkward for her to be the only person there while the rest, everyone else is online. So at least, there's a partner with her if it's physically, if you do the dual mode delivery.
Hi, Maria and Rebecca.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hi, when you mentioned virtual, what's the format of the virtual courses? Is it synchronous or asynchronous?
Okay, most of our courses at the moment, okay, at least for the e-learning, that's fully online. That one you can do at your own time, but all other courses are live stream, so it will be done via Zoom. So you will log into Zoom and then you just attend the lectures as it happens. Then for our assessments though, they are all on the online platform. We have an LMS, so you will log into the LMS for online platform. At the moment, we are looking at making our courses blended. So there will be like the different portions. You have the asynchronous and the synchronous, but that will be perhaps in the near future.
Thank you. Also, I am based in Jakarta, so I'm looking at the virtual route, and but I'm wondering how the practicum is going to be like. I do have access to students, but they're all online right now. We have not been teaching face-to-face for 1.5 years already. So what accommodations will be considered for my case?
I think that's okay. I currently do have a student who is doing her practicum online, and she's based in Philippines. So I check in with her via Zoom and we check in via email. So she does share her lesson plans and her lesson reflections. She records a couple of sessions, so for me to just check in on her. But I think it should be no issue if your students are okay with online learning. I think that one you have to check in with your students.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome.
Janelle also asked, is there no part-time program? So the specialist diploma, it's not really full-time nor part-time, but it's actually you attend the courses based on the runs, the modules, and then as I mentioned, it's either the block run, which happens the whole day over in that particular week, so that's the block run, or if not, it's the weekly run. So which means it happens over a few weeks. So you can actually choose which one you want to attend the modules. Did I answer your question, Janelle?
Okay, hi. I want to check with you regarding the lesson observation, right? I know that the supervisors will be given by DAS, and during the lesson observation, so because I am working as an educational therapy, so the supervisor has to sit in my actual session.
Okay, when you mention lesson observation, are you referring to the practicum or are you referring to the lesson observation that was written on the core module?
The practicum.
The practicum. All right. So what happens is we get our students to actually record one of their lesson to just let us have a look at it. to provide some feedback. So we won't be sitting down to actually watch your lesson, but rather it's a recorded lesson.
Yeah, so this is also the same for the master's program, right?
The master's, yes, correct. The working with dyslexia, you mean?
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So for the master's program, is the timing for the courses are all in the morning too?
Okay, so the master's program happens usually during the holidays, and then it's full day. So it's from morning 9:30 all the way to 4:30 p.m.
Okay, can.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem. But just to clarify, right? So when you're comparing the master's program and the specialist diploma, for the master's program, the module, the practicum module, which is working with dyslexia, you will attend the certificate in dyslexia and literacy teaching, which is the specialist diploma module, right? But the practicum is the extended one, which is the one that you will do for the master's, right? So that practicum is where you will be recording lesson. For the specialist diploma practicum, that's a separate one for the specialist diploma itself, right? So I hope that's clarified. Okay. Any questions that I've not addressed yet?
Sorry, have you addressed Nikki's question on how intensive the specialist diploma is if you do it back to back and in the midst of typing the answers?
No, I'm like scrolling up. Sorry, there are a lot of intensive is a specialist. Okay, so there'll be mixed reviews on this. So let me give you an example of our core module, which is the 42 hours course. We do have the block run, which is like you attend 5 days of full day courses, and then you will come back for the assessment. Usually after the weekend break, then on the next day, the following week, we'll come back for the assessment. So for some, they might find it very intensive because you are supposed to actually be prepared for the assessment within a short period of time. So for some, they might find it quite intensive. But for the weekly run is where the same course will happen every Saturday. So you have a longer period of time to sit through the session and to understand the contents before the assessment takes place. So it's like kind of stretched to a few weeks rather than over a few days. So for teachers, for mainly teachers, they would prefer the block run because it happens during the holidays and they have that time to complete the course and to finish the assessment and complete the module. But for some, they might think that they need a longer period of time to understand the content and to also get themselves prepared for the assessment. So this is one such example. So and I would think that the 42-hour course is quite content heavy. So if let's say you think that you need some time to master the contents, then I would recommend you to attend the weekly run rather than the block run. Is that okay, Nikki?
So am I right to say it's, in a way, it is flexible?
Yes, correct. It's flexible in that sense. So it's your choice when you want to attend. And which run you would like to attend.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking aloud now. I have yet to go to the website to check at the different modules and what are the duration, you see, because I'm worried about having to work then to attend lessons. So looking at it, I will probably will have to attend the ones in the evenings. So I have to look at the modules, which modules are being offered in the evenings. Yeah.
Okay. So as I mentioned, currently only the educational psychology it takes place in the evening, only that module. But if let's say weekdays you can't commit, then perhaps you can look at courses that are running on Saturdays. So which is the advanced English literacy skill, the morphology course, even the CIDLT, which also happens on weekends as well, on Saturdays.
Saturdays, is it a full day or is it 3 hours?
So it's a full day.
Full day.
If you, yeah, correct. Over 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the course that you're taking.
All right. Okay, thanks.
Yes. And I think Meeking also asked this question, usually how long is given to complete assignments, All right. So after the course is done, you will be given about 20 working days to complete. So about a month to complete your assignment and submit to us. So that's for written assignment. For CIDLT, as I said, the core module, which is the dyslexia and literacy teaching, is a written assessment. So written as well as oral tests. So if let's say you're doing the block run, after the 5 days, the second week will be the assessment. Whereas the weekly run, after the course has ended, then the following week will be the assessment.
So the 20 working days to complete the written assignment, is it also for the master's program as well?
No, master's program is about 60 days, right, Mariam? 2 months.
This program with 12 weeks, so about 3 months.
12 weeks, yeah, about 2 months, master's.
For every assessment?
Yes, you get about 12 weeks for your assessment. That's right.
Correct.
Because you will have a tutorial consultation with your lecturer to, just you share your thoughts on your assignment, and then we'll help you to craft like your proposal, and then you have to submit a form, an abstract, and we check whether you're on the right track before you go on to submit a full assignment. So you are scaffolded, you have the support in that sense.
Okay, so for the master's program, the assessment is only on the dissertation, right?
For every module, there's a written assignment. The dissertation is...
So every written assignment is 12 weeks?
Yes, you get 12 weeks for each written assignment, that's right. For the dissertation, you actually, if you're doing the 30 credit, you have about 6 months for that. And for the 60 credit, you have about a year or so for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Minimum attendance. Okay, so it's
it's all 75%.
75%. So for specialist diploma as well as for MA, minimum requirement is 75%. Okay.
Any other questions?
So as Mariam mentioned, we will be sending you the recording as well as the slides. So you can slowly have a look at it in your own time, and then perhaps look at our website as well to look at the dates, the modules. And when you're actually looking through all these, if you have more questions, you can just drop an email to Mariam or me or even Nurul, right? And we can actually help you with that. Thank you, Kevin. Right, so we'll be here. So if any questions, you can write it on the chat. We'll be here to answer it. If not, yes, have a good day.
If not, we thank you for taking the time to attend this session on a very
rainy
nice Saturday morning. Have slept in. Hope to see you in our program. So do take the time to go through the slides and the video to make a more informed decision.
Okay, thank you so much for your time and for the session. Really appreciate it. So I'll just check out all the information at the website. Okay, you have a good day. Thanks. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. See you all. Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Kani.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.